On today's episode, we're going to be talking about voicemail, unlocking the potential as a prospecting tool. I'm going to walk you through some strategies, going to give it to you real quick in less than 10 minutes here. Let's get rolling. We'll be back with you.
You're listening to the Sales Hunter Podcast with Mark Hunter, where the focus is to help you as a sales leader sell with confidence and integrity. And now here's your host.
It is amazing the number of phone calls I get. Of course, it's interesting. It's phone calls from people saying, hey, what do I do with voicemail? It just doesn't seem to work. Should I be leaving voicemails? How do I do that? Now, as much as I say I get phone calls from people, I get far more emails from people. And that brings up another issue. And that's what we're going to be unpacking here in this episode in terms of unlocking potential as a prospecting tool. But first, hey, when it comes to closing deals, Calendly knows how important maintaining momentum is for your sales team. Calendly provides the automation you need to connect with your best leads faster and schedule every meeting throughout your sales cycle. Prevent scheduling delays that stall deals and let your team focus on what they do best. Driving revenue. Request your demo of Calendly today. And hey, in the comments section there, you can see a link there for it. Now, let's jump into this whole thing. A voicemail unlocking potential. Okay, first of all, you got to use it. Don't think for a moment that voicemail doesn't work. But here's the key thing. It is one of the tools. It is not the tool. Now, if you checked out the episode last week, you know that I talked about the telephone. And hey, want you to jump in and check that episode out because I just talked about the telephone. But now we're talking about voicemail. See, here's the thing. Voicemail is the opportunity for you to allow your personality to come through. The days of thinking it's not a good idea to leave a voicemail are long gone. Now, accept it for what it is. Voicemail alone is, okay, it's not going to generate a significant number of callbacks. But when you use it in conjunction with other tools, it does. And it goes back to that whole thing that it allows your personality to come through. And that's what's absolutely key. And here's the whole thing. When I say personality, because how many robot emails do you get? You get a lot more than you realize. How many robot spam calls do you get? You get a lot more than you realize. See, so voicemail is the ability that you have to personalize it. This is why I say, your voicemail doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be natural. And when it's natural, it works. Now, okay, so let's start breaking this whole thing down because I said voicemail, I can't look at it as strictly a solo one-off tool, but it's as much of a sales tool as it is a marketing tool. Whoa, hold it. Stop the bus. What did you just say? It's as much a marketing tool as it is a sales tool because, again, the voicemail in and of itself isn't necessarily going to generate your callback. But what you're doing is you're creating competence because of what you share. In other words, you're sharing some insights in this voicemail, and I'll walk you through how to leave a great voicemail. You're sharing some insights. So it allows them to understand that you're competent. And you're creating confidence. And this is going to get you because it's in a very unique way. You're creating confidence because of the brevity of the message. Whoa, what did he just say? Brevity. Yeah, short. See, here's the whole thing. Nothing will turn people off than a long voicemail. Now, especially when you consider that many voicemail systems take the voice and translate it to text. So if you're sitting there leaving a 30, 40-second voicemail, can you imagine how long that looks in text form on somebody's smartphone? It's repulsive. See, so the good voicemail consists of several things. One, it's 12 to 14 seconds. Now think about this from a 12 to 14. This means you got to have your act together. You see, here's the thing. Too many times what happens is people call people and they're prepared for them to answer. But let's not get ourselves. 80, 90% of the time it rolls into voicemail. And then they're caught off guard. Something's wrong here. We need to be prepared for it to go into voicemail. Because if we're not prepared for it to go into voicemail, how will we be ready 90% of the time when it does go into voicemail? So you've got to have your script, and I use the word script loosely, all planned out. because you got to understand what it is. But okay, in this 12 to 14 second voicemail, here's the whole situation. It's about them. It's not about you. You don't open the message by waxing eloquently about you and your company. Now, again, think about this for a moment. You're getting a voicemail from people who really don't want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from you. Okay? I mean, they don't know you can help them. And then you start off by saying how wonderful you are and the company is and the position that you have. Now, translate that also into a text message. Oh, here's the first couple lines of that text message is all about you and your company. And they go, unless you're somebody pretty famous, they're going to go delete. See, so you're out of the running right then. And you know what? You've allowed your personality to come through. No, you allowed your ego to come through. Yeah, see, here's the whole situation. It is amazing how when you allow your personality to come through, it happens. So what does this mean? That means you've got to do a couple things. A, it's about them. It's, Ross, I've got new information regarding some new equipment that's really helping other companies like yours. I'm Mark Hunter, the sales hunter. Call me. Ross, love to hear from you. 402-598-6194. Now, what did I do? I just left a very short voicemail message, and I used his name twice. I used the person's name twice. This is so key because, again, this is that personalization. And the voicemail I left, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. What it does is it has to be able to communicate something. Now, here's the whole deal, though. Don't buy into 100% that it's strictly a marketing tool, because then you won't leave a CTA, call to action. You still need to leave a call to action. It's absolutely imperative that you leave a call to action. So call me, and you leave your phone number. Now, let's walk through a couple quick things here. It's a 12 to 14 second voicemail. And here's the whole thing. Should I reference in the voicemail that I'm going to send you an email? No, don't. Don't do that. Because now, why did you send me a voicemail if you're also sending me an email? No. To me, that's calling me a fool. That's calling me, the recipient, a fool. So I'm not going to reference the email I'm going to send you, but I am going to send you an email. I'm going to send you an email. Now, as I get deep into the cadence, I may then reference the two because I'm not generating a response, but I'm 12, 14, 16 messages in the cadence, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's okay. Now, in the email I send them, I can reference, oh, by the way, I just left you a voicemail on this. I can reference it. I can. Yeah, no problem there at all. Now, here's the whole thing, though. When do you leave a voicemail? The cadence that I'm going with right now, and this has changed over what it was about a year ago, or what it really was about. I call you twice. And if I don't get you to answer, it's on the third time I call that I begin leaving voicemails. You see, so I'm calling you twice. You're not answering. I'm not doing anything. Third one is when I'm now beginning to leave you a voicemail. And every time thereafter I leave you a voicemail, every time thereafter I call you, I'm going to leave a voicemail. Now, here's the whole situation. You can't leave the same voicemail twice. Because again, what happens if you leave the same voicemail twice? They begin thinking that, oh, this is robo. This is the guy just recorded this voicemail, and he pushes, oh, send to. No. So again, this is why you have to have, it has to be natural. And I am not a fan of automating what that voicemail should be. Come on, let's not kid ourselves. Hey, look, a good voicemail is 12 to 14 seconds long. That's not very long, okay? That's not very long. Don't automate that. You're going to have 4 or 5 different scripts. Each one's going to be tailored to that particular industry, that particular person. But it's absolutely key. Okay, what have we been talking about here? Because again, what I've been sharing is just a number of thoughts, a number of ideas on how to leave prospecting, how to leave a voicemail when it comes to prospecting. Now, this is not how to leave a voicemail if they're a current customer. Okay, the 12 and 14 second rules off the table. All those things are off the table. This is for a prospect. Okay? But it's key. What am I doing? It's about them. I'm not getting hung up about me. 2, it's 12 to 14 seconds. I've said that quite a few times already. I hope that's drilling down on you. And 3, I'm using that person's name twice. You see, here's the whole thing. It is absolutely key that you understand what this is. Now, hey, I tell you what, this is Mark Hunter. I'm the Sales Hunter. This is the live version of the podcast. Podcast comes out every week. Number of people always have, hey, how do you get back recordings of these? If you're catching this on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, you go to my podcast, wherever you download your podcast. It's the Sales Hunter Podcast. And with that, I want to say, hey, thank you for listening. And thank you, Calendly, for sponsoring today's show and continue to help sales teams focus on driving revenue. Prevent scheduling delays that stall deals and let your team focus on what they do best, driving revenue. Request your demo of Calendly today. With that, I want to say, hey, thank you for listening to the Sales Center Podcast. Great audience. We come at you every week with an episode on Monday, sales tip by me, and every Thursday with an interview from a leading sales expert. Until next episode, great selling.